are back with perhaps what has always been the most entertaining educational show on our nation's station. It's the Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Board Junior Science Quiz.
Do you know what Social Security Reciprocal Agreement means? It means if you are moving to another country within CARICOM, you can take your Social Security benefits with you. Now, a key feature of the CARICOM Reciprocal Agreement is that residents have the ability to move and not lose their Social Security credits. Plus, you can access long-term benefits once you satisfy existing criteria. Reciprocal agreements serve to ensure that your Social Security credits within the English-speaking Caribbean and Canada are secure.
Contact the Social Security Office and ask for more details on the reciprocal agreement.
And thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. Good evening. We are excited, I'm sure, as you can determine based on the mood that is in studio this evening. This evening, we have the Antigua Girls High School coming up against the Clearhall Secondary School. And this encounter will determine the final team to make it into the three-team final encounter. So far, we've seen the Antigua Grammar School and the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School move on to that final encounter. So this episode will determine who will join them there. So let's meet our competitors this evening from the Clearhall Secondary School. We wish to say good evening to Miss John Benet Maynard.
Good evening.
Good evening, John Benet. Dominic Coffey.
Good evening.
And Zaria Jacobs.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. Standby member, Mr. Jaden Davis. Good evening, Jaden. Good evening to you. From the Antigua Girls High School, we have Miss Gabrielle Dazel.
Good evening.
Good evening. Did I get that surname correct?
Dazel.
Dazel. You'll have to correct me, Miss Dazel. This is such a beautiful surname, by the way. Such a beautiful surname. And Janelle Lambert.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Donella Lewis.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. And standby members for the Antigua Girls High School, Nakaira Nanton, Takaira Richards, and Sarah Allen. Good evening to you all. Our judges for this evening's encounter are Mrs. Anne-Marie Benter from the Clearhall Secondary School, Miss Carlin Douglas from the Antigua Girls High School, and Miss Kendra Thomas from the Ministry of Education. Good evening to you, judges. Good evening, very well. And they're looking quite astute behind there. And these are the individuals who will be determining the correctness of your answers. And if perhaps the moderator errs, they'll be sure to bring it to his attention. I'm your moderator, Ashworth Azell, and it will be my pleasure to take you through this evening's encounter. Our first round is our individual round. In this individual buzzer round, we'll ask a total of 2 questions per pair, per opposing pair. So therefore, there will be 6 questions in this round. If someone interrupts me while the questions are being read, I will give them an opportunity to answer. If their answer is incorrect, however, we'll turn it over to their opposing number. A correct answer in this round gains you 5 points. Is that clear? I invite you to take buzzers in hand. All right, so we look to our first pair of Miss Dazel and Miss Maynard. Your first question. Name the third planet from the sun. Antigua Girls High.
Mars.
That is incorrect. I'm sorry. Clearhall Secondary.
Earth.
Earth is the correct answer. Question number 2 for this pair. What element has the symbol Na? Antigua Girls High.
Sodium.
Sodium is the correct answer. We'll move on to our next pair of Ms. Lambert and... Yes, that's Ms. Lambert and Mr. Coffey. Your first question. A kitten is a young cat. Which animal's young is called a fry? A kitten is a young cat. Which animal's young is called a fry? I could hear a pin drop. The correct answer in this case is a fish. A fish. Next question for this pair. What is the hardest substance? Not the hardest question because we just had that one a while ago. But what is the hardest substance normally found in the human body? What is that? Antigua Girls High.
The teeth.
We will accept the teeth, yes. Or we could have also accepted enamel. Yeah, okay, very good, very good. Move on to our next pair. Our final pair of Miss Jacobs and Miss Lewis. Your question. Give the common name for magnesium sulfate.
Epsom salt.
Antigua High, Epsom salt is correct. Final question in this round, and for this pair, where in the body is the Adam's apple found?
The larynx.
Judges, is she saying the larynx? Larynx? No. No, no, no. Clear secondary?
The throat.
That is correct. That is correct. So there we have it. We'll have a word from our sponsors. That was a fast round, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. Fast round. So let's have a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back with the scores.
A sickness benefit is payable weekly to an insured person between 16 and the pensionable age who is absent from work because of a certified illness, not due to occupational injury. There are minimum qualifications that must be met before you make a claim, so please contact your Social Security office to find out more. Most importantly, the claim must be made within 21 days of the illness and the Social Security medical certificate completed in full to ensure timely processing.
Contact the Social Security office to have your questions on sickness benefits answered.
And thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is the Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Board Science Quiz. I know you're just joining us, and so you needed to know what we're doing on your screens this evening. This evening, we are featuring the Antigua Girls High School and the Clare Hall Secondary School. We've had one round. In the first round, we saw the Clare Hall Secondary School amassing a total of 10 points, Antigua Girls High School 15 points, so only a matter of 5 points separating both teams. This is our clicker round. In this round, there will be a total of 4 multiple choice questions. Students, you'll be asked to pay attention to the screen in front of you where the questions will feature. Some of them may have a particular image which corresponds with your question, so please look carefully. Each correct answer in this round will gain you 5 points, and you will have 10 seconds within which to complete your answers. Is that correct? Is that understood? Are we clear? Very good. Then we'll begin with the first question. Which of the following components of blood transports oxygen? Which of the following components of blood transports oxygen? And that is time. The correct answer here is the red blood cell. Red blood cell. I'm hearing it from the studio audience. Very bright students today. Where in the body, question number 2, where in the body can the anvil and stirrup be found? Where in the body can the anvil and stirrup be found? And that is time. You know I'm going to come to you again, studio audience, because you're the bright ones today. Correct answer here is the? Yeah, and we often refer to them by a different name. What do we call them? The ossicles, yes? Yes? Yes, good. And we'll have the hammer, the anvil, and the... There we go. This evening we're asking for 2. The third question in this round. Mammals differ from birds because... Mammals differ from birds because mammals do something on our list. And that is time. And in this case, we know that they have mammary glands which allow them to breastfeed their young. That's correct. That's correct. Final question in this round. Which of the following is a food group according to the Caribbean Food and Nutrition Institute? Which of the following is a food group according to the Caribbean Food and Nutrition Institute? And that is time. I know many would be tempted to say fish and chips, because it sounds quite inviting. But the correct answer here in this case is?
Vegetables.
Vegetables, that's correct. Oh, bright students this evening, bright students. Let's have a word from our sponsors. We'll return with the scores. And yeah, you guys can take a little breather. It's okay. You can give them a round of applause. That's okay. We'll be right back.
Do you know what Social Security Reciprocal Agreement means? It means if you are moving to another country within CARICOM, you can take your Social Security benefits with you. Now, a key feature of the CARICOM Reciprocal Agreement is that residents have the ability to move and not lose their Social Security credits. Plus, you can access long-term benefits once you satisfy existing criteria. Reciprocal agreements serve to ensure that your Social Security credits within the English-speaking Caribbean and Canada are secure.
Contact the Social Security Office and ask for more details on the reciprocal agreement.
And thank you for staying with us, viewers. Thank you very much, studio audience. We've had 2 rounds thus far. In round number 2, and it has been a close encounter thus far, yes? Round number 2, both schools were able to amass a total of 50 points each. So Clare Hall Secondary, you now have 60 points, to the Antigua Girls High School, 65 points. So a matter of 5 points separating both teams. So it's still anybody's encounter this evening. At this point, we'll invite the Antigua Girls High School to make their way out of studio, while the Clare Hall Secondary has their go at the explanation round. John Benet, Dominique, and Zaria, this is the individual explanation round. In this round, each of you will be asked a question. You will have 10 seconds within which to offer an answer. Please know that I will read the question twice, so please listen carefully and speak clearly and loudly so that the judges may hear you. A correct answer gains you 10 points. If your answer is incorrect, we can turn it over to your team, at which time you are able to garner 5 points if your answer is correct. Is that understood? So we will begin with John Benet. John Benet, here's your question. Leaves may be classified as simple or compound. Explain what is a simple leaf. Explain what is a simple leaf. That is time. Turn it over to your team. I see heads shaking. And that is also time, so you weren't able to get any points from that particular question, but that is a leaf that is undivided, or one that has a single lamina, right, and not several small leaflets. Good? Question number 2. This question goes to Dominic Coffey. Your question, sir. A container weighs 225 newtons when full of water and 175 newtons when empty. How much does the water weigh? I'll repeat. A container weighs 225 newtons when full of water and 175 newtons when empty. How much does the water weigh?
$55 newtons.
Can you repeat, please?
55 newtons.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. We'll turn it over to your team.
25 newtons.
That is also incorrect. Also incorrect. The correct answer here was 50. 50 newtons. You were almost there. Almost there. Just a little miscalculation. So we'll turn it over to, we now move to Zaria. Zaria Jacobs. Here is your question. Explain the difference between mass and volume. Explain the difference between mass and volume. She's opted to turn it across to her team.
A mass is how much an object weighs, and the volume is how much space it takes up.
How much the object weighs? No, I don't think we can be satisfied with that. Sorry, Zaria. Sorry, team. And that has brought you to the end of your round. Unfortunately, you were not able to get any points from this round. All right, so you're still stuck on, is it 60 points? You'll have an opportunity to make up in the Beat the Clock round. All right. So in this case, the mass is the amount of matter that makes up the substance. All right. Whereas the volume refers to the total amount of space, yes, that the substance take up. So that's brought us to the end of your round. We'll now invite the Antigua Girls High School to join us in studio. And we say welcome to the team. Janelle, I see you taking up your position in the middle. You're going to be answering that mathematical question this evening? Yeah? Everybody's okay now? All settled?
Yep.
All right. Well, this is our exposition round. We can't go any further away from this encounter before we answer this one. We've got to tackle this one. Each of you will receive a question, at which point you will have 10 seconds to begin offering an answer. A correct answer in this round gives you 10 points. If your answer is incorrect, we can turn it over to your team for some assistance, at which point the correct answer gains you 5 points. Is that clear? Your question will be read twice, so please listen carefully. Your first question. Gabrielle. Leaves may be classified, as simple or compound. Leaves may be classified as simple or compound. Explain what is a simple leaf. Explain what is a simple leaf.
A simple leaf is a leaf that only has one main stem, that only has and veins branching off from the main stem or mid vein.
Judges, I sense a little uncertainty there. Are we going to accept that? Judges are saying no. Judges are saying no, I'm sorry. So we'll turn it over to the team.
Okay, a simple leaf is a leaf that is by itself, that it from the branch, it is connected to the branch by itself.
Connected to the branch by itself. It's a leaf that is undivided, or that has a single lamina. Okay? Or no leaflets, or no small leaflets. Yeah. All right. So we move on then to our second question. Ms. Lambert, your question. A container weighs 225 newtons when full of water and 175 newtons when empty. I'll repeat, a container weighs 225 newtons when full of water and 175 newtons when empty. How much does the water weigh?
50 newtons.
50 newtons is in fact the correct answer. We move to our final member of the Antigua Girls High School, Miss Lewis. Your question. Explain the difference between mass and volume. Explain the difference between mass and volume.
Mass is the amount of substance the amount of particles that a substance contains, and volume is the amount of space matter takes up.
Judges are nodding their head in approval. Yes, very good, very good. That has brought us to the end of round number 3. We'll have a word from our sponsors and we will return with the scores and, of course, the Beat the Clock round. We'll be right back.
Self-employed persons are independent contractors, including but not limited to doctors, consultants, farmers, fishermen, graphic designers, vendors, bus and taxi drivers, gardeners, and mechanics. Self-employed persons who are also employed are now mandated by law to make self-employed payments. They can declare insurable earnings up to the Social Security ceiling of $6,500 per month. At the end of each calendar year, they may also adjust their declared earnings if necessary.
Contact the Social Security Office and ask what you need to know as a self-employed person.
And thank you for staying with us again. You are viewing an encounter in the Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Board Junior Science Quiz. This evening we are featuring the Clearhall Secondary School and the Antigua Girls High School. We've had 3 rounds thus far. Unfortunately, Clearhall Secondary, you were not able to add to your tally in the 3rd round, so you are still stuck on 60 points. Antigua Girls High School, you were able to add a total of 20 points to your tally, giving you a grand total of 85 points. And so we'll give you an opportunity to exit stage, and we'll see you in a little bit for your turn at the Beat the Clock round. Clearhall Secondary School. This is the Beat the Clock round. You will have 60 seconds in which to answer as many questions as possible. Please know that a new question will only be read after you've offered an answer or you've asked me to pass. Is that clear? This is a team effort. However, we'll only be listening for John Bonet's responses in this round, so we invite you to huddle a little closer. You're free to collaborate. Your 60 seconds begin now. True or false? Both plants and animals contain chloroplast.
False.
Animals that only eat meat are called?
Carnivores.
What food substance is the grease spot used to test for?
Pass.
What name is given to the reaction between an acid and a base?
Pass.
Which state of matter is steam?
Vapor gas.
What term is used to describe light bouncing off a surface?
Pass.
Name the first element in the periodic table.
Hydrogen.
Which of these is a metal, sulfur or silver?
Silver.
What word is used to describe a substance that dissolves another substance?
Pass.
Which system in the human body contains the cranium?
Skeletal.
What quantity is measured using newtons?
Power.
Name the element that makes up diamond.
Carbon dioxide.
True or false? Like poles of a magnet attract each other.
False.
And that is time. That is time. We'll see just how well you did once we've had the Antigua Girls High School and the final analysis of scores. We'll be right back. And so we welcome the Antigua Girls High School back in studios. We've seen some rearrangement of the seating, which means that Gabrielle will be answering on behalf of her team this evening. Ladies, you'll have 60 seconds in which to answer as many questions as possible. I will not be able to read a new question unless you offer an answer or you indicate to me to pass. All answers should come through the person you've so designated, but as it is a team effort, you're allowed to contribute to the development of that answer. Is that understood? Yes. I invite you to speak clearly and loudly so that our judges may hear you. Your 60 seconds begin now. True or false? Both plants and animals contain chloroplast.
False.
Animals that only eat meat are called?
Carnivores.
What food substance is the grease spot test used for?
Pass.
What name is given to the reaction between an acid and a base?
Neutralization.
Which state of matter is steam?
Pass.
What term is used to describe light bouncing off of a surface?
Reflection.
Name the first element in the periodic table.
Hydrogen.
Which of these is a metal, sulfur or silver?
Silver.
What word is used to describe a substance that dissolves another substance?
Solute.
Which system of the human body contains the cranium?
The skeleton.
What quantity is measured in units of newtons?
Force.
Name the element that makes up diamond.
Carbon.
True or false? Like poles of a magnet attract each other.
False.
What element has the symbol U?
Uranium.
Which organ in the body contains neurons? You may answer.
The brain.
Thank you very much. There we have it, viewers. We've come to the end of the Beat the Clock round. We'll have a word from our sponsors. We'll return with the final scores in a minute.
Do you know what Social Security Reciprocal Agreement means? It means if you are moving to another country within CARICOM, you can take your Social Security benefits with you. Now, a key feature of the CARICOM Reciprocal Agreement is that residents have the ability to move and not lose their Social Security credits. Plus, you can access long-term benefits once you satisfy existing criteria. Reciprocal agreements serve to ensure that your Social Security credits within the English-speaking Caribbean and Canada are secure.
Contact the Social Security Office and ask for more details on the reciprocal agreement.
And welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We've completed 4 rounds of this evening's Junior Science Quiz encounter between the Antigua Girls High School and the Clare Hall Secondary School. Clare Hall Secondary, you had your first effort at the Beat the Clock round, in which you amassed a total of 40 points to give you a grand total of 100. The Antigua Girls High School, you amassed a total of 60 points in that round to give you a final total of 145, and so you are declared as the winner of this evening's encounter. A very interesting encounter this evening, but the Antigua Girls High School will make their way onto the final, into the final encounter with the Antigua Grammar School and the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School. So quite an interesting matchup has been set up for all of us here next week. So we want to congratulate the Antigua Girls High School once more on emerging as winner of this evening's encounter. We also want to thank the Clare Hall Secondary School for participating quite enthusiastically in this particular competition. We want to give you an opportunity, both teams, to offer a few words of thank you, commendations to the individuals who would have assisted your preparation. You may go. John Benet.
First, I would like to thank God because without Him, none of this would be possible. Next, I would like to thank Miss Benta, our integrated science teacher, because she helped us prepare for this encounter. I would also like to thank my teammates because they helped me prepare through this encounter, and they also helped me throughout the competition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John Benet. Thank you very much. Gabriella.
Good evening, afternoon. We first like to thank God for helping us through this, and making us remember the stuff that we learned. Also like to thank our teachers who assisted in teaching us and drilling us with the questions. I'd like to thank our backup crew and our teammates that helped us so well. And I like to say it was good playing with you guys today, and we'll see you later.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gabrielle. So viewers, here you have it. This evening's encounter was won by the Antigua Girls High School. And as I said earlier, they will join the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School as well as the Antigua Grammar School in the final encounter next week. So we invite you to tune in and be thrilled by the competition next week. Certainly, we would not have been able to stage this encounter without the assistance of our judges, Mrs. Anne-Marie Benter, Ms. Carlene Douglas, and Ms. Kendra Thomas, as well as our technical crew here in studios. Thank you all very much for making these encounters what they are week after week. And to our trusty audience in studio as well. They would have sat through the entire encounter, some of them with the answers dribbling off their lips, wishing that they could be up here. We'll see you next year, I'm sure. Or if we do not see you here, certainly you'll be able to tutor your peers in preparation for next year's competition. But it's been a wonderful pleasure. I've been your moderator, Ashworth Azil. Until we come your way again next week, good evening and God bless you.